Let's talk through some transaction opportunities as we're doing kind of an overview of commercial real estate. You could be looking at a startup. Maybe you're an associate and you're looking at starting up your practice. You might be looking at a relocation. Maybe you're an existing practice and you are either sick and tired of your landlord, you want to own real estate, or maybe you've outgrown, you're expanding, you've outgrown your space, or you're looking at maybe even additional offices. Maybe I want a satellite office across town. You might be looking at, I've been leasing and now it's time for me to purchase, or even a ground up project. Maybe I can't find anything in town that I want, and so I want to build it. So I need to be looking at land, doing a ground up land real estate transaction. You could be looking at the most common real estate transaction in any town, which is the least thought of in terms of real estate, which is the lease renewal. And that's where a practice has been in place for 7, 10, 15, 20 years, and the landlord just slides across the table, slides the lease renewal document. Hey, it's time, your lease is up in a month or 2 months, and here's another 5 or 10 year extension. You just stay put and we're just going to keep you in place and I'm not going to raise your rent too much, but just the normal 3 or 4% every year. Well, do you have any idea if that's a fair lease rate? That's one of the landlord's favorite real estate transactions because they don't have to give any concessions. They're not paying out any tenant improvement allowance. They're not giving any free rent. They're usually not bringing that lease rate down at all. And so they love those transactions. And so lease renewals, that's one of the most common real estate transactions and opportunities when you're thinking about your real estate. And then finally, practice transitions. You might be thinking about acquiring a practice. That's great. There is going to be a real estate component to that transaction. You're either going to be getting a lease assigned to you or you're going to be buying the building and getting that in your name. There is going to be a real estate component to that transaction. And so that would be an opportunity there on the real estate side. And so to recap, it's important to be looking at all the different types of property options that are available to you, the pros and the cons of each one, and what's available in your market. You might be in a market where there's really no retail availability of inventory. You might be looking only at office or medical office buildings or whatnot. But I would be saying, look at the vision for your practice and then look at how that matches up with what's available on the market. Have options. Be looking at a few, negotiate with a few simultaneously. Be looking at a lease comparison, lease versus purchase analysis side by side so you can make the best decision for your practice. And lastly, additionally, even though COVID has impacted the market, there are some tremendous opportunities when it comes to real estate.